Today we're gonna make a pork monster in honor of Vanilleware's Dragon's Crown, the Guardian Heroes style beat 'em up. We got this 5-pound pork shoulder still on the bone, and we're gonna start with a very simple dry rub. We got a shot of salt and a shot of pepper, and we just gonna rub this bad boy down. We are rubbing our meat in honor of Dragon's Crown today. A really big piece of meat that I can't pick up with one hand very well. I'd be afraid to season it, hit it with some pepper. Boom. I think BAM is trademarked, so I'll go with boom. Actually, no, John Madden might have that. I'm gonna rub. God, this thing is so big. Get the rub on, and therein lies the rub. Nice and prepped. You got your pan going on high heat, because we're gonna throw this on the pan. But first, we're gonna prep ourselves some carrots, celery, and onion. Chop things evenly as possible. This is not a sharp knife. So everything sort of cooks through at the same rate. Whoops. And this knife, holy shit. So Dragon's Crown, you know, is a prime candidate for such a meaty adventure like we're taking right now with that giant 5-pound pork shoulder. It's fitting for a sort of medieval styled romp, what with the skeletons and the bones of travelers that you can pick up and take with you as NPCs or bury and give them final solace in this crazy thing we call life. And shit. We're going with a very meat and potatoes, everything proportional, in line with Dragon's Crown's much heated and talked about art style. You know, big on in proportion. And now that we got this prepped, we're gonna go to the kitchen. Okay, let's heat up some oil in the pan. Shit. On each side, leave it. Don't shake it around. Don't move it. Just let it get a nice sear. We're gonna really burn that rub in, get a nice flavorful shell. So yeah, Dragon's Crown is a video game in which you beat people up. It has a very Guardian Heroes vibe. Pretty 2D art, all sorts of crazy characters running about. Archer's best character. Also the most normally proportioned character, contrary to this gigantic piece of meat that we're cooking, which looks like it could come from one of the lizard monsters or probably from half of the Amazonian's thigh. We're just gonna stab and flip. To give all sides some love. We're gonna go ahead and transfer this to the next side. Of course, Dragon's Crown allows for transferring between your save data, between the PS3 and the PlayStation Vita. Of course, it looks great on television because the game is really pretty. Of course, the other inspiration for having a big piece of meat on the bone is the sort of classic dungeon crawler games, Gauntlet and things like that, where you had recovery items that were just giant mutton chops and things of that nature. And there's a minute, maybe? We wing it here a little bit. California minute. So hot. So now let's take this hunka burning love off. So we're going to throw some nice red wine and deglaze the pan. Get all the flavor out, and you're cooking, you know, a good majority of the alcohol out of the wine. Cook with a wine that you want to drink, because you're going to taste it. You're not trying to get drunk. You're trying to make things tasty. Just going to keep this wine at a boiling hot, like the dwarf in Dragon's Crown. When our wine has sort of cooked off fairly well, we're going to go ahead and add all those nice vegetables. So this is just going to cook for 5 to 7 minutes. But eventually we're going to throw that guy back in with all his flavoring. Then we're going to throw him in a little casserole dish, and we're going to pop him in the oven at, say, 350 degrees, and we're going to put it in there for 2 hours. Now that we've given the vegetables some time alone in the pan, we're going to start crowding it, put in some diced garlic. We're going to use a can of tomato paste and 2 cups of beef stock. We're going to let this keep going for a little bit. So a problem we're having here today in the Destructoid kitchen is that we have this giant, ill-proportioned piece of meat and this tiny little casserole dish. So it's very much like the sorceress in Dragon's Crown. So that obviously takes up a lion's share of our space. Hopefully you have more. Let's see if we can do this. Oh, spilling out over the top. You want this as submerged as possible. We actually might have underestimated the height of this meat, so we might just wing it and throw some more beef stock in. It's cooling. We're gonna throw this in the oven for 2 hours, and we're gonna start on our rosemary potatoes. They go in the oven for 1 hour, so we can cheat, and when this is 1 hour in, we can throw the potatoes in too. Everything will be ready at the same time, and then we can eat. Gloves. Okay, this oven is hot. Don't burn yourself. Timer, 2 hours. Get however many potatoes you want to eat. I want to eat 6 potatoes. And you're just going to get little, red small potatoes for rosemary potatoes. And we're going to quarter them, which is just nice, even quarters. Dragon's Crown is interesting because it manages to do sort of brownish hues in a very pretty way. Brown has become a derogatory term for modern shooters, but Dragon's Crown has a lot of brown in it, but it still looks quite nice, and that's, a testament to the art style, and it just looks really, really good. We're going to take this bowl, we're going to go back to the kitchen, we're going to dress these potatoes, throw them in the oven when we have about an hour left on our pork. Let's go. I love olive oil, and, drizzle some oil, and you're good. And get some nice salt. We're going to finish off. Add a whole heap of garlic, some rosemary diced up. Give this a good shake, nice and even. Now that we have just about an hour left on our pork, we're just gonna throw these in alongside, and you just want to cook them until they're nice and crisp and browned on the outside. And check it in an hour, taste one. If they need more, they need more. We're good. And there you have it, Destructoid. Here we have the first dish of a la Cartridge, a Dragon's Crown inspired pork shoulder and rosemary potatoes. I think it's a very fitting dish for the game. It looks right at home in that art book where all the characters are sitting around a table. We don't have a glass of mead, but we have a glass of the wine that we used as part of the cooking, and that's about it. Bon appetit, and I will see you next time.